New York State Department of Health Commissioner Dr. Mary T. Bassett announced her resignation earlier today. Learn more about what she has to say about the future. Eyewitness News at 11 starts in 60 seconds.
Now, your forecast first.
Good evening. We'll have a low temperature of 31 degrees tonight with rain showers late. We saw more rain in the forecast as we head into tomorrow. And I'll have more on that ahead. Eyewitness News at 11 starts now.
This is Eyewitness News at 11 on WUTR.
Tonight's top stories at 11. New York State Department of Health Commissioner Dr. Mary T. Bassett announced her resignation earlier today. Learn more about what she has to say about the future. And Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw met with the Oneida County Executive earlier this afternoon to address the county's issue of youth in crisis. We'll bring you all the details. Plus,
coming up tonight, I spoke with the Oneida County Executive about the grand opening of the Nexus Center and what's next for economic development in the county.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for Eyewitness News at 11. I'm Shelby Pei, filling in tonight for Jamie Azulay. New York State Department of Health Commissioner Dr. Mary T. Bassett announced her resignation today, effective January 1st, 2023. Bassett will then return to the Harvard-Chan School of Public Health. Bassett saying in a statement, quote, "I'm leaving now so the next commissioner can have the chance to lead this great department for a full 4-year term under the leadership of Governor Hochul." She adds, "Though I am moving back to Massachusetts, I will always be a New Yorker, and I look forward to cheering on the department's accomplishments in the coming years." And last night was the grand opening of the Nexus Center, and our Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Brill spoke with Oneida County Executive Anthony Picenti about the new site and what's next in the process of developing downtown Utica in Oneida County.
The Nexus Center is officially open here in downtown Utica, and this is just the beginning for economic development in the city. Now it's time to start looking towards what Oneida County Executive calls the U District.
Nexus was the big anchor, along with the Adirondack Bank Center, because that really, began the whole process. So now it's really a matter of what else will complement it.
The goal of the U District is to develop downtown with sports, art, entertainment, and food, not only giving families visiting the area for tournaments activities, but also benefiting those living in Oneida County.
It's really a matter of what else will complement it. And I know we talked about a craft beer experience, we talked about a casino. Are there other outdoor fields that we can put in here too? There's a lot of space in this area in terms of property and vacant areas that can be developed. A little bit of housing, a little bit of restaurants, a little bit of some other shops.
Although the county executive is planning on putting together a committee with some of the leaders in the county to come up with ideas for the project, he will also look for input from residents and visitors.
As we see the families come in here, en masse on the weekends, kind of find out, do simple surveying of, what else do you think we need down here? What would complement this? We looked at other facilities around the country when we were building this and watched them grow.
The county executive is also open to collaborating with the city of Utica and Mayor Robert Palmieri.
It's clearly an asset to the city and it's a benefit to them. So whatever, plans they have, obviously we want to be a partner with that as well. So we'll look to that and see what else we can do together. We're really going to be brainstorming a great deal, especially over the next few months as we see how this materializes and how it grows.
Reporting in Oneida County, Lauren Brill, Eyewitness News.
And speaking of the Nexus Center, if you're planning on heading over to the new facility or the Adirondack Bank Center, the Utica Police Department has enacted a temporary no parking ban on the north side of Whitesboro Street from Washington Street to Auditorium Drive, and on the east side of Broadway from Whitesboro Street to Oriskany. This temporary order has been made in an effort to improve pedestrian safety and is a bridge to a permanent solution which is currently being worked on. And early this week, Assemblywoman Mary Ann Buttonshaw met with Senator Griffo to review recommendations that New York State has suggested for youth in crisis, as well as prepare for the upcoming state budget. Our Eyewitness News reporter Vera Shang was there to learn more.
So Raise the Age Again was looking at providing the services that youth need when they're in crisis, whether it's criminal activity, whether it's activity where they were involved in something of that nature. And these are state mandates where generally the county is providing the services. So as we approach the budget season, it's more important that we have the conversations of what are the needs of the county so that they can provide those resources. And that if the state of New York has stated that we are here for you, then we have to make sure that we are here not only in support but in resources.
Concerned about the unfunded mandates that will put the pressure on Oneida County, Buttonshaw said that she's trying to be prepared for the budget season amid the age race for youth.
Well, so at the end of the year there will be changes to youth from the age that was at 12, or excuse me, that was at 7 will move to 12. So that will make a complete difference again within the family court process. So this legislation will take effect next year, and it is very important again as we prepare with it.
Buttonshaw said that the process will be introduced again in a month in January when the first step comes out. The office will spend the time preparing to pass budget for it before April 1st. Reporting in Utica, Vera Shang, Eyewitness News.
Be sure to get our CNY homepage app to stay up to date on all the latest local news. Before we go to break, here's a preview of your weather with meteorologist Dan Mizlowski.
We have rain showers tonight with more rain in the forecast tomorrow. I'll break it all down for you in your full weather forecast coming up right after the break.
Your eyewitness weather forecast.
Good evening, meteorologist Santa Masowski here with your check-in on the weather. We're looking at a time lapse of downtown Utica throughout the day today. We started off with those temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s, and we pretty much stayed in the 30s throughout the day today with just a few areas in central New York getting into the lower 40s, and we also had a mix of clouds and sunshine. Now for current conditions, we're sitting at 37 degrees and we do have a breeze out of the east at 11 miles per hour there. Now we do have a little bit of a wintry mix expected in the North Country for tonight. So for northern Herkimer County, we do have that winter weather advisory in effect. And taking a closer look at radar, we already had a little bit of snow as well as that freezing rain moving through. And we could still see that as we head into tonight with those low temperatures dropping into the 30s across the board here in central New York. We'll be at 32 degrees as the low temperature there in Old Forge, 31 in Utica, and 35 in Ilion as well as Cooperstown, 34 in Oneonta. Now for those high temperatures tomorrow, definitely warmer than what we saw today, getting into the 40s and the lower 50s. We'll be at 43 degrees as a high there in Old Forge, 49 in Utica, 53 in Ilion, 50 in Cooperstown, and 49 in Oneonta. Now for the futurecast moving it forward tonight, we'll see those rain showers moving through, possibly a little bit of a wintry mix with freezing rain in the North Country. And as we head into Saturday morning, see some pretty heavy pockets of rain at times, as you can see here, futurecast picking up on those darker green as well as the yellow colors denoting that heavy rainfall. And we'll see a little bit of a break before a second wave of heavy rain showers moves through in the afternoon. By Saturday evening, we'll have a few lake effect snow showers kicking in here in central New York. This will persist throughout the night into Sunday morning, though we'll start to see that band shifting further north as we head throughout the afternoon hours into Sunday evening as well. Now to recap for tonight, we'll have those rain showers moving in later tonight, as well as a breeze out of the southeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour, as well as those low temperatures dropping to the lower 30s. Now as we hit tomorrow, we'll see those rain showers throughout the day. Like I said before, it could get quite heavy at times, and we'll see a breeze out of the southwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour, as well as those high temperatures on the milder side, getting to the upper 40s. Now for your 7-day forecast, as we head into tomorrow night, we'll see those low temperatures dropping to the mid-20s and a mix of clouds and sunshine to kick off the start of next week as we head into Monday with high temperatures getting into the lower 40s. And we do have more of a wintry mix of some rain and snow showers expected on Tuesday, and with temperatures getting to the upper 40s by Wednesday. Once again, we'll see some rain showers moving through there and a little bit of drier time sandwiched in between on Thursday. Mix of clouds and sunshine expected there with temperatures in the lower 40s. Then we get another wave of rain showers expected on Friday.
Thanks, Dan. Not a bad forecast for December.
Yeah, so we will have days definitely getting above the average temperature that we normally see about this time of the year, upper 30s, lower 40s. So we will see some days getting to the upper 40s.
Sweet. All right, well, thank you. Eyewitness News at 11 continues after this.
Across America with Mega Jackpots, it's Mega Millions.
What's up, America? I'm John Crow. It is Friday, December 2nd, and tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated annuitized $333 million. To win that jackpot, you must match these 5 white balls plus that gold Mega Ball. Now, let's see if I can make you a millionaire tonight. Our first winning number tonight is 52. That's followed by 46. Up next, we have 21. Your next number is 1, and your final white ball number for this Friday evening is 36. Now for the Mega Ball number, that is 16. Again, tonight's winning numbers are 52, 46, 21, 1, 36, and the gold Mega Ball is 16. Now, no matches all 6 numbers. Tuesday's jackpot could be $354 million. Play on, America.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 11 on WUTR.
In positive news, SUNY is seeing an increase in college applications. Capitol correspondent Jamie DeLine tells us why that is and shares some of the new initiatives SUNY is doing.
More students are applying to SUNY schools for the fall 2023 semester. The State University of New York says the number increased from roughly 97,000 applicants to over 204,000 from last year. Joel Winkowski, deputy to the chancellor for enrollment, explains one reason why.
Every admissions office put out information on free application weeks to all their prospective students, as well as all the lists of names that we have here at SUNY Central.
Students were able to apply to 5 schools for free, saving up to $250.
I have no doubt enrollment's going to go up significantly throughout SUNY at nearly every institution that we have.
SUNY recently launched an out-of-state tuition match program and is teaming up with UConn, UMass, Rutgers, Penn State, University of Illinois, Cal Berkeley, University of New Hampshire, and the University of Vermont.
We'll use Albany as an example. So Albany would be right around 25,000 plus in tuition for an out-of-state student from Connecticut, New Jersey, all the states that were mentioned. You could come to Albany for the same price of UConn or Rutgers, which might be $19,000. And Albany will give the aid to offset that cost to bring it down to 19 rather than a student paying the $25,000.
But that's not the only new SUNY initiative this year.
Say you applied to 2 SUNY schools, right, and you didn't get into either of those schools. Then we have a system in place where you'll then be accepted to 3 institutions within the SUNY system. And so it'll give you the opportunity to go look at those schools, choose which one you want to attend, and those schools to begin to recruit you to enroll you at their institutions.
In Albany, I'm Jamie DeLine.
The state's Independent Redistricting Commission has released the drafted assembly redistricting lines, but some are saying the state's process to draw those maps is doomed to fail. Capitol correspondent Emil Taligi has the story.
Earlier this year, the Independent Redistricting Commission couldn't come up with a consensus on assembly maps, so it was left up to the legislature. Soon after, the court struck down the map because the proper procedure wasn't followed. Now, months later, the IRC has given it a second go. But Susan Lerner, executive director with Common Cause New York, says the new draft is too similar to the one that the courts already rejected.
And it has played out exactly, unfortunately, as we predicted, which is a commission which is not independent, which failed spectacularly and embarrassingly, turned into a procedure for the assembly where the assembly remains in control of drawing its own lines.
Here's a look at where the current assembly lines stand. Here's what they would look like under the proposed IRC draft. Michael Lee, redistricting expert with the Brennan Center for Justice, says boundaries across the state are shifting in New York City, southern Brooklyn, the lower Hudson Valley, Syracuse, and Rochester.
A lot of incumbents are finding that they don't live necessarily in the districts that they currently represent, or conversely that the districts become more competitive or change quite a bit. There really are a lot of changes across the state, especially in the urban areas.
The legislature can either accept or reject the drafted map. If they are rejected, the IRC would redraw them again. If they are rejected another time, the legislature could then draw the maps themselves.
This is going to be a very extended process that runs probably through next summer. And this is really just the first step in the process.
But Common Cause New York says the state needs an entirely new redistricting process.
At this point, we should not be entertaining any activity by the commission or the legislature in drawing any maps. It should be in the hands of a master, and this process should end once and for all.
The IRC will carry out 12 hearings. The public comment period will run from January to March, with the final maps due in April. Reporting in Albany, Emil Taligi.
And now looking nationally, while newly elected members of Congress don't officially start their jobs until January, they're already working in Washington to make sure current lawmakers keep their priorities top of mind. Washington correspondent Jesse Turner reports on their biggest asks during this lame duck season.
We are impatient to get this work done.
Some of the newest members of the House Progressive Caucus ended their 2-week orientation by calling on current lawmakers to pass their priorities before Republicans take control of the chamber. Congressman-elect Robert Garcia and Greg Casar argued too much is at stake.
We are not waiting to get sworn in to do the work of the people and to begin to address the pain that we feel in our communities and in our very own families.
Illinois Congresswoman-elect Delia Ramirez said one of their top priorities is adding another extension of the expanded child tax credit to the large annual spending bill lawmakers are trying to pass before the end of the year.
These expansions have literally lifted families through some of the most lingering economic impacts of the pandemic.
The 2021 program provided parents with a series of monthly payments and broadened the number of eligible families.
Lawmakers did not renew the expanded credits for this year because they disagreed about the costs, contributions to inflation, and how parents should use the extra cash.
But the head of the House Progressive Caucus, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, told me Friday the policy works.
You reduce hunger by 32% in the United States of America, child poverty by 40%, 50% depending on which studies you look at.
A group of Senate Democrats also wants the expanded child tax credit included in the spending bill, and some Republicans have indicated they could support its return. But the measure ultimately needs 60 votes to make it to President Biden's desk. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Just ahead tonight, the Utica Comets back on the ice after their overtime loss on Wednesday. Sports director Brennan Miller tells us more.
Eyewitness Sports right now.
Good evening, I'm Brendan Miller with Eyewitness Sports. We start tonight with the Utica Comets back on the ice after their overtime loss on Wednesday, this time hosting the Toronto Marlies in an AHL North Division matchup. The Comets and Marlies had played once already this season, Toronto claiming a 2-1 win on October 29th. Tice Thompson scored the lone goal in that game for Utica, a power play goal at 15:19 in the third period with Jack Dugan and Robbie Russo assisting. But the Comets tried to flip that script tonight. Starting in the first period, neither team on the board as of yet, but Utica is going to force a turnover right in front of the net. Nick Hutchison picks it off and has a boatload of time to pick his spot, and he does. 1-0 Comets on Hutchison's unassisted. Toronto scored just 26 seconds later, though, to tie it, and added 2 more in the first period. Utica starts to come back in the second. Great passing ends with a pass to Nolan Stevens in front, whose deflection goes over the shoulder of Marley's goaltender Joseph Wall, and it's now just a 1-goal game, 3-2. Both teams would add a goal in the third, but the Comets comes way too late. Tyler Witherspoon with just 10 seconds left in the game, and the Marlies are going to escape with a win. 4-3 the final score, and the Comets already on the bus to Belleville, prepping for their next one. They'll drop the puck against the Senators tomorrow night at 7. 2 other former Comets who were recently called up made some news yesterday night. Both Kevin Ball and Alexander Holtz scoring goals for New Jersey in their 4-3 overtime loss to the Nashville Predators. Ball got New Jersey on the scoreboard in the second period after they had given up 2 goals to the Preds in the first. Playing as the 7th defenseman, he registered the 3rd fewest minutes on the ice with just 11 and 49 seconds, but made those minutes count with a goal, another shot, 2 blocked shots, and a hit in his 15 shifts. Holtz scored what would have been the game's winning goal had New Jersey held on through the third period, ripping a one-timer while the Devils were on the power play past Nashville goalie UC Saros to make the game 3-2 in favor of the Devils. Holtz registered just over 15 minutes of ice time in the game, including 3 minutes and 24 seconds on the power play. Those two had been up with the Devils filling injury vacancies in the NHL franchise's roster, and there's no news on when or if they will make their return to Utica. And looking forward to this weekend's events, the one everyone, of course, has circled on their calendar, the New York Sash Teddy Bear Toss. Utica University is set to continue the tradition that started in 2005 with fans throwing teddy bears over the glass and on the ice after the Pioneers score their first goal of the game. Utica is 13-2-1 all-time in teddy bear toss games, but will have quite the time on Saturday as they host another top 10 team in the country, number 7 SUNY Oswego. The Lakers are 7-2 on the year, but coming off of a loss to then unranked Skidmore 4-1 on Thanksgiving, and another loss tonight, this time to unranked Morrisville 3-1. Tickets for tomorrow's game are already sold out, but if you are going, the school does ask that all stuffed animals are brought to be thrown are new with tags removed. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Also tomorrow, the United States men's national team set to kick off their round of 16 games against the Netherlands at 10 a.m. The U.S. advanced out of the group stage after a 1-0 defeat of Iran in their final group game, earning enough points with draws against Wales and England in their 2 previous to get a second-place finish and move through. The Netherlands finished first in their group, Group A, with wins over Qatar and Senegal and a draw with Ecuador. American star Christian Pulisic is set to return to the pitch after suffering an injury while scoring the U.S.'s lone goal in their third match, what was called a pelvic contusion after he collided with the Iranian goaltender. So again, kickoff for the round of 16 game is at 10 a.m. The U.S. underdogs to a strong Dutch team, with the winner advancing to the quarterfinals to face the winner of Argentina and Australia, a game that will kick off later tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon. For now, that's all for sports. Check out cnyhomepage.com for your top sports stories. There's more Eyewitness News after the break.
Eyewitness News continues on WUTR.
Looking nationally to the ongoing fentanyl crisis. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson brings us more.
West Virginia Senator Shelby Anchor says people are buying fentanyl with just the click of a mouse.
And it's a killer.
Capito, along with Senator Amy Klobuchar, are now urging the Biden administration to increase investigations of fentanyl trafficking online.
We see it coming through the southern border. We don't know how it's being trafficked.
The CDC says in 2021, the U.S. had more than 70,000 fentanyl-related deaths. Capito believes many of those deaths were the result of drugs being bought on the dark web. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin says she's also working to fight drug overdoses by pushing the Biden administration to make the emergency remedy naloxone available over the counter.
We know that when you increase access to this safe and effective treatment, that you save lives.
But FDA Administrator Robert Califf says the push needs to come from manufacturers.
We don't make naloxone and we can't make it over the counter. We need the manufacturers to come forward with a plan to do it.
The FDA is now exploring the idea of making smaller amounts of naloxone nasal spray available over the counter. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
We'll close out the broadcast when we return.